اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Now, when it comes to life, life is three-dimensional. There is the length of life, there is the height of life, and there is the width of life. Allah, in lengthwise, divided life into two parts. One is a small part that is in this dunya. We live here in this dunya. In the Quran, this is known as Hayatud Dunya. Hayatud Dunya, or the life of this world, of the world. And then the next stage or the next part of our life, which is after death, which Allah calls Akhirat or Hayawan, meaning the real life. So these are the two, Allah divided in two parts. But when you look at the two parts, we see that yes, the life of this world is only a few years. That's it. But in order for you to gain the Akhirat, everything, what you make of yourself in the hereafter is based on here. And that's where the importance of this life comes from. Why is it important? Because you can only make anything that you want to be in the hereafter here, in this world. And in these few days and few years that you have, you can make whatever you want to be. So Allah gave you a free pad with markers, paintbrush, to paint your own self that is going to be there for eternity, forever. And now from here we understand how important every minute here is in this world. So now everyone who wants to now do anything should be looking at this way, should be thinking of this, that if I do this, how will this help and how will this harm my real life? If a person starts thinking like that, then he will understand that, you know what? Sitting in a gathering of ghibat is wasting my time and also harming my hereafter. Or doing something haram is wasting my time and harming my life. You know, it's right? There's no doubt about that. Allah made it haram because it's harmful to us. Allah made all the haram things. He made it haram for us, not because, for example, He knows that it's good for us and He just doesn't like us, He says, no, you can't touch it, No, the reason Allah did it, there's wisdom behind it, is because it's harmful for us. Now, why is it that we don't stay away from it when we know that it's harmful? I mean, really, let's say, right, that, for example, we took out chai in a tray. There's 100 cups in the tray of chai. And one of those cups is poisoned. It's poisonous, deadly, fatal. Now, obviously, the 99 are not. But we don't know which one is the one that's poisonous. Now, what would you do? You want to play Russian roulette? Really, look at it. Even if there's a small chance of harm, we will avoid it. We will run away from it. Then why is it that when we know that this is harmful, we still do it? Think about this now. Why do we still keep on doing something that is haram again and again, knowing that this is harmful? When in our normal mind, when you look at it, it's like anything harmful, we don't even try to do that. Really. Or, for example, something is necessary for us. It is necessary for us. You see how much we try to make sure that we do it on time. How much we make sure that we try to do it on time. Like, for example, eating food. We make sure that we do it. Paying taxes. No one wants to miss that date. So what happens? When we look at it ourselves, we know that it's necessary and we do it. Now, when Allah made things wajib, like prayer is wajib, fasting is wajib, hajj is wajib, why is it that it's so easy for us to let go of it? It's more than that, my friends. Really, why is it that we let go of it? We do not take it seriously. My friends, here is, there is a much basic reason than that. It's not about that we don't have faith. It's not about, for example, that, there's no one enforcing it. No, it has nothing to do with that. Even if there's enforcement, you will see that when you don't like something, and if people like to enforce it, you will find a way to do it. You will find a way to do it. And the best example is your own kids, right? You don't want them to use that phone and chat all the time or play games all the time, but you see that they will find a way and sneak and do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can't stop that. There's no way that you can prevent that when someone wants to do that or when they don't want to do that. It's there. So now what happened? Why is that? The reason is very basic. And that's what I want to tell you here. When it comes to height, you see, because all these things are related to height. Because we want to achieve something of ourselves. We want to become great. And now there's growth. There's progress. Or there's digression. Whatever it is, going up or going down. The problem with the height and issues that are related to the height of life is that their effects, the effect of these things are not apparent in this dunya. Allah did not make the effects of those things apparent. How much benefit are you getting out of prayer? Have we ever, no, we haven't, right? We don't know if we are getting benefit or not. Maybe we think that it's harmful for us. I know one person, who said that, and he made a masjid also, right? But he said that, I asked him, people said he doesn't pray. So I asked him, you don't pray? He said, no. I said, why not? Okay. He was very blunt. No, I don't pray. He says, why don't you pray? He says, because every time I prayed, I had a loss in my business. So I decided it's harmful for me. Really? As a matter of fact, you look at it that way, right? Have you ever seen the benefit of prayer? in your life. You think you did. You see, because we have a wrong way of insinuating or giving reasons where reasons should not belong. We all have a habit of that, and this is a habit that's incorrect, not right. Even in, for example, in good things, for example, you say, you know what, I got a job, right? Maybe you found a job. Then what happens? You know why I have it? I have it because of, I did this, or I did that good, or this happened, that happened. Why are you giving reason to that? Why are you trying to give reason to that? There's no need to it. That's exactly how we get into ignorance. When we start giving reasons when reasons don't belong. And out of our own hunch and intuition, we say that, you know why this is happening? It's happening because of this reason. Like, for example, if rain happens, if I say it's rain, it's okay, it's raining. But, if it rains on Ashura, it's Allah's mercy. What? I think it has more to do with the clouds. Anything else, right? It's how Allah made the system. Why are we giving reason to this? Why are we trying to give reason to this? That's how we get into ignorance. Right? Jahiliyat is this, that you start giving reasons to where reasons doesn't belong. And we start giving reasons to things. Why are you giving reason to that? There's no need for you to give reason. Allah didn't ask you to give reason to these things. Don't try to think about things why Allah did it. Why Allah could have done it for a billion reasons. A billion reasons. The only place we give reason is when that reason is mentioned by Allah or Ahlul Bayt. That's the only place we say this is why it happened. Why? Because Imam Ali said so. Right. Because Allah said so. When we get actual knowledge of reason, actual knowledge of cause. But when we start giving, this cause, this is the cause, because of this is happening in my life. I'm happy, I have this because I'm Shia. Well, really, is that the benefit of being a Shia? But, there's, the actual benefit of being a Shia, Imam Sadiq mentioned. Yeah, Imam Sadiq mentioned that. He said that, for example, a person who wanted to become a Shia, he came to Imam Sadiq and said, I want to be your Shia. I want to be your Shia. Right? So Imam Sadiq gave an effect of being a Shia. He says, well, if you become Shia, then you will have pain in your life. And you'll have suffering in your life. So suffering is a part of being Shia. So there you go. That's reason. So now you can say that, yes, I'm going through suffering because of Ahlul Bayt. You can say that. Imam Sadiq said it. And hence we can say it also. But to say that, I have this because I'm this, how do you know? And this is the problem that we have all the time. My friends, Allah did not make the effects of the height of dunya apparent in this world. He did not make it apparent. One of the things to understand is that when you pray, you don't see any effect in you. When you do something haram, you don't see any effect in you. There's no effect in you that you will see, oh, this is happening because of this reason. This is happening because of this reason. You don't see that effect in you. You don't see the influence in you. You don't see the things that are happening in you. Why? Because if Allah had kept those effects, then they will lose value. Haram will lose value. Wajib will lose value. It will lose value. Allah made, for example, prayer wajib. Now, if every sajda that we make, right, let's say $1,000 appears next to the sajda. Tell me, will you stop praying?
No. Extra should.
You see that, right? The whole idea of prayer is lost if Allah made the effects apparent. If, for example, every time you say or do ghibat, your nose starts growing 2 inches longer, or a wart appears on your face, would you do it? You won't do it. It will lose value. Really, Allah kept these things hidden from us. He kept the effects of our height hidden, so we don't know what our height is. We don't know how far we are going or how backward we are going. And that's why the only thing is just to go on, just to go on, just to go on trying. That's why some attributes are really important. Trust, determination, not giving up. In fact, if you look at it, one of the only things that Allah says is the worst thing that you can do, the worst thing you can do that Allah says is La taqnatu min rahmatillah, that you become hopeless of Allah's mercy. Why did you become hopeless of His mercy? What, you thought that He's going to leave you alone? He's not going to look after you? You don't think that you're His creation? That you're adopted? Really, when Allah created you, creation is worth a lot. Being a created being, being the creation of Allah is a lot more than being children. It means a lot more. And so Allah, when we're His creation, every one of us, it is important for Him. Our well-being is important for Him. Our salvation is important for Him. All of these things He's concerned about. So the worst thing that we can do is lose hope in Allah's mercy. No, Allah, I don't know if you'll be there or not. My friends, do not worry about the height. The height is something that you do not see here. No one sees it here. No one sees the effects of the height here. And that's the reason why, for example, people or zalimeen or evil people misunderstood that. For example, when they saw Imam Hussein dead, they say, you see, Allah did this to you. Allah did this to you. They're giving a cause where cause doesn't belong. They're giving a reason where reason doesn't belong. Because they don't know the height that Imam Hussein has reached. They don't know what it is. All they saw was him being massacred, him losing a battle, being massacred, and his children being taken as hostages. That's what they saw. And when they saw that, they think that, you know what? This is it. It's so easy now. Look at this. It's terrible what happened to you. It's horrible what happened to you. Why did Allah do this to you? And so what happened is that when you look at the height, one of the things about height is that it's not known here. It's not apparent here. And that's when we live our life, do not see or try to think where we are headed towards. In other words, how high you have become. The reason Allah did not give that, show that to us, is because, you know what? If we had seen what Allah has given to us already, maybe we would stop trying. Because you're like, what? I have all of this? I don't need anything more. I don't need any more. I am fine where I am. Really, let's say, for example, here's what happens. How many of you will go to your work if you win the lotto? I want the lotto, but I still want to work 9 to 5. Here I am, being your slave boss. I love you. Come on, no one's going to work. The first thing they do is say, I quit in your face. That's it. Really. And that's the point. If Allah showed us what we are already, then we'll stop trying. We'll stop trying to grow. Allah wants us to go higher than that. That's why He doesn't show how far you have reached, how much you have done. We haven't understood. And that's why we need to look at it that way. So the first thing, one of the characteristics about the height of life is that it's not known here. And Allah kept it that way in order that we can just go on and strive harder and do not lose that motivation that we have, that we are going to become great. And then when Allah actually gives it to us, here's the thing. When Allah gives it to you, every mu'min will be in a state of shock. Everyone will be in a state of shock. Allah, all of this just for me? Everyone will be in a state of shock. He has that quality inside of him. Allah has that quality of amazing people, of just bewildering them, just making them like, wow, you are so generous. You are so generous. That's what Allah is all about. He is greater than whatever we can imagine. And have trust in that. And that's why when we live our life, the height of life is what causes motivation, and it also what brings us determination to keep on going. Make sure that we keep on going and strive harder. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and the blessing to be on the right paths, wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala.
Allahumma salli ala